slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. Through the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, the highway, and in the driveway. Isn't that strange? Cause I'm trying through the climb, I ain't right thing. You never hit the bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient is belief. We'll see with the negativity, but I just gotta right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never ran city, no, man, I still go. Go, 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 you got a mind, but even that can change. You can flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why I say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. Don't repeat in your brain till you feel it no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past, start a plan, and you'll find a door. Open it up, and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 still go, 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 slow, still go, go, stop, hope, still go, I go, so no, still go.
Case, I want to find out at a level of 7. Okay, so I find that level on my graph, and I come horizontally to my gradient line. Where it intersects with my gradient line, I'm going to come straight down to where it intersects with my fuck around line. Now there is going to tell me how much I have to fuck around to find out what I need to find out. See, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out. And also, if you stay down here and you never fuck around, you'll never find out. So I hope this lesson is helpful. Thank you.
Yo, what's happening? What's happening with it? What's happening with it? Debunk session in the house. We were going to do a debunk session on some stuff that I have been seeing floating around social media. There's been some rumors, speculating, some people making some crazy claims, but it is the same old within the Summer Wells case. It's just people, hey, look, I don't know what to tell you, man. Every time about this year, the same things happen. The same things are said. The same attempts are made. And it's something that happens every year. It's almost like I didn't believe it. I remember when Don was telling me this a couple years ago. I don't want to say I didn't believe him, but I just didn't experience it yet. And then sure enough, it happens every year, man. Always around Summer's disappearance date, her birthday, either or. It's always the same stuff. We have a private investigator making some crazy claims. He's doing a lot of lies. And you guys know who this person is. I kind of halfway respect this person. Thought I did. But then I thought about it, and I don't know, man. I can't respect anybody who's like, fucking with these people still years after years after years within this case. I want to start this one off by saying, look, man, what do I say here? I guess there's a lot to say, but I want to come off inviting, I guess. So first and foremost, I want to debunk what the social media stuff is happening within the Summerwell stuff, which we will debunk completely. And I want to do a recap of what happened with Butthurt Chronicles from the last video that I made in a little circulation that's been happening. Butthurt Chronicles has a funny story because, you can't even paint a better picture of how that worked out. So we'll get there when we get there. But listen, if you try to comment, I think I had it jammed up, man. I was streaming on the Rumble on, what do you call it? RTC or whatever the hell. Whatever. My key was messed up and I had, I didn't see no comments until I took the Rumble part. I was streaming on the Rumble as well. And I think Rumble tied up the comments for a minute. So I see the comments now. They're coming in. What's up? Hello, everyone. Please hit the like. Absolutely. So y'all, I'll get into this private investigator stuff first, and then we're going to recap Chronicles, Butthurt Chronicles, and the absolute destruction that this person did to herself. And it's absolutely granted, and it's comical at the same time. It is what it is. It is what it is. But more importantly is this stuff I want to show you, okay? Yes, absolutely. Hey, real fast, before I even start screen sharing and stuff. Man, look, I'm in my studios the other day, and it says 26% of my subs have notifications on. 26%, that's nothing. That means like when I go live, 26% of the people, the total amount of people who are subscribed to the channel have the notification set on, right? So, and at a 26%, who could really like at that very second actually join the chat, right? So people, smash the notifications on, y'all. Come on, man. We got to do better than 26%. I haven't looked at that in a long time, and I did the other day, and it's bad, y'all. 26 is not no bueno. But hey, boo, where is everyone? I don't know. They'll come in. That's why I try to make the intros kind of long. They'll come in. Tell me you're not causing problems for people causing problems. Absolutely, I'm causing problems for people who are causing problems, and I always will. It's just comical how that happened, and it's comical. So basically, at the end of this, you had this idiot named Chronicles of the Shady, who basically transformed her entire Twitter account into a secondary white boy radio page. It's not even rent free. It's not even white boy derangement syndrome. It's like almost like a mental illness, right? What I'm totally cool with, by the way. Just for the record, I'm totally cool with, because the amount of traffic that's, first and foremost, shout out to all the new followers from Butthurt Chronicles on my Twitter. Thank you. But I appreciate the free promotion as well from Butthurt Chronicles. But anybody who watches Butthurt Chronicles content versus White Boy Radio's content, that's like a given. It's a 10 times out of 10, they're lock and loaded with White Boy. Like, that shit over there is boring. But I've been watching. I guess we're going to do this reverse. I'll get through the drama first, and then we'll get to the debunking of the Summerwell stuff, because we're already doing it. This lady decides to share I'm about to share screen some stuff, right? I'm gonna go to Twitter, nothing different. This person is in the bushes with their fucking calculator out, tallying up donations and all excited about it, right? And it happened to be about a live that I was doing about a court situation, right? Now, here's the irony of all the situation. There's a lot of irony in this, right? So I'll get through the drama first. Chronicles of the Shady is a person who is always telling people to report things, right? And could you imagine getting trying to get Team YouTube involved in White Boy did a bad thing. What had happened was he showed his own DMs, and I think he should burn in hell for that. Like, Team YouTube doesn't care about that. you shouldn't have messaged me what you didn't want shown, for one. And for two, you should have just been a normal person and it would have never been shown. But you attack my subs. I'm not going for that. And I put it out there. And other people started picking up this traction. And I've been seeing it on the streets the last couple of days. And to be honest, I just recently caught up with all of the lives about this. And this lady has been pretty much found. Imagine so let's just rewind. This person blocked me a long time ago, and that's fine. That's cool. Get your block on, right? Not a problem. You blocking me means you don't want to talk anymore. I'm not offended, really. But the thing is, like, you're blocking me, but you keep talking about me. Okay, not a problem still. Not a problem still. You're free to do whatever you want. But, what you can't do is talk about my subs. I'm just not going for that. I might ignore like your cheesy or cornball stuff about me because nobody cares about you anyhow. But when you talk about my subscribers, I'm going to step in now. And the irony of this person, right, trying to be all incognito and stuff, right? And all this happened. And at the end of the day, this person, if you don't know this, since the last video I made, I guess they did, I don't know what type of form of this person. There's people on the internet who know who she is, right? And as I'm listening to this information on this live, learning this, I hear the person who probably has her identity say, well, when it comes out, I don't want to be responsible. And I don't want to be behind that. Well, let me step in right now for you and take the microphone away from you. I would like to be responsible. I have no problem with that. I don't have a problem with people who, it's funny, right? People like to play all these like digging games and doxing games, right? And then they scream real life when it happens to them, right? I'm on the internet. It's a given that shit's going to come out on my end. I'd have to be a moron not to think so. I can't be on here thinking like, it's not going to happen, right? You're just a fool if you think that, right? And now, like, I've been playing with this AI stuff really heavy the last couple of weeks because I have I'm creating stuff for my channel. You'll see it when I do it. But like with these AI apps and stuff, you could take 3 seconds of somebody's voice. So I'll give you an example. There's a massive scam going on where like these scammers they'll go on your social media and they'll take your voice, right? And then they'll get like 10 seconds of your voice or whatever it is, and then they'll call grandma. And then grandma gets a call, and it's the person's voice. Hey, grandma, it's Jennifer, and I'm, I need $3,000 sent here immediately or I'm going to get hurt, right? Grandma has a soft heart. Grandma doesn't know what's going on. Grandma sends the $3,000 with the quickness because scammers, hackers, have looked at social media, have got a 10-second clip of the child's voice, right? And now they went another step above and found grandma's contact number, right? This is happening all over, people, if you don't know, right? And my point to me telling you this is I didn't even know this lady Chronicles was on a panel before, there's these AI apps that do all these reverse tracking and stuff like that. But beyond that, it doesn't even, my point to that is like, to be like invisible on the internet, to have no digital footprint in 2025 going into 26, you got to be crazy. I have respect for the people who do remain anonymous, but good luck with that. Good. That's just my opinion. However, this person, Butthurt Chronicles, has pestered, if you will, a little too many. And people, you never know who's watching this stuff. You never know. There's plenty of geniuses out there. There's plenty of smart people, right? And they'll help you. Right? That's how the internet works. But it didn't even have to go that far. Somebody knows, I guess, who this person is. And when I was listening to them, talk about like when it comes out, they're not responsible. I thought about it. And I'm like, I'll take that. I'll be responsible. I mean, even though when it does come out, I won't be responsible. I'll fully take responsibility for somebody attacking my subscribers, for somebody who doxed me in the past, for somebody who doxed me and is so mental they forgot that they did it and pretended like we were cool. When I made that video, I told you guys I never fully trusted this person. But imagine doxing somebody, imagine being cool with somebody, right? And then imagine you trying to attack their subs by all of their messages. And then imagine the video takes a little bit of traction. And then imagine because of that, someone knows who the fuck you are. And that person, I guess, doesn't want to take credit for your identity coming out. I'm here to say I'm all for it. I'll take credit. Put me in, coach. I don't like this person. This person doesn't know me. They doxed me. And you know what I'm saying? I have no idea how there was even any like initial like small type, how I even like began speaking to this person, but fuck that person. I'll take credit for that. And I cannot wait because as I've seen this a million times, and what's going to happen is this person is going to run off the internet. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. And I'm here for it. Can't wait for it. You know, all the time this person's like doing like the things that they do, giggling behind like, you know, no. Mike Tyson said it best. The internet has made people way too comfortable because they don't get punched in the face. You know, this is the person trying to rally people up. This person is like 9,000 in on attempts of getting at Team YouTube's attention. You know, this person thinks that terms of service are breaking every 10 seconds. This person wants the internet boring. Right? Unfortunately, it's just not how it works. And it doesn't work like that, man. It just doesn't. So I'll take I would take the credit 100%. Fuck that person. What's up, Paulo? Ooh. Shout out to your daughter, grandma. Yeah, absolutely. Get your block on. I didn't get a notification. I hardly ever do. So here's what YouTube says to do. YouTube says to unsubscribe from the channel. This is just what they say, man. If you're not getting notifications, YouTube says to unsubscribe and then subscribe right back, and then take your finger and refresh the screen and then put notifications all. That's supposed to magically reset it. Don't know though, right? I've tried it. It's worked for me sometimes YouTube will unsubscribe me from channels that I've been subscribed for so long, man. It's crazy. Is this the real Jason Jensen? Dude, I'm going to be talking about you because there's a lot of shenanigans with you. This is not the real private, and this is not the real PI. And if it is, sir, you're more than welcome to grab this link. Understand before you grab this link. Understand I talked to Don and Candace Wells a lot. Understand I know exactly. This is not him. I'm talking to nobody right now. I'm not going to explain myself. If you want the link, there it is. Because I will be talking about you. I will be reviewing you because there's a lot of shenanigans coming out your way. There's no way that's him. Won't give. This has got to be a troll. This has got to be a troll. Imagine won't give you the satisfaction with your tone. Imagine entertaining my live. How about this? Suck my cock. How about that? How about that? Suck my cock. How about that? It's Jason. 18 subs on channel. Didn't think it was. I don't know. It is what it is. So We love you, Summer. Yeah. So let's talk about some real stuff. Tell me you're not. So I went backwards. All right. Look. So I don't know who's in the chat and who's not in the chat. I don't know what's real and what's fake. Right. Absolutely. 100%, sir. 100%. I love getting clout off people who exploit this little girl. Been doing it for years, actually. I've been doing it for years. And here's what's going to happen. We're going to laugh about you in this live because we have to make a negative. We have to make a positive from a negative. We have to get a laugh from a pile of dog shit, right? You left a pile of dog shit. And yes, right? How else? And misinformation, with misinformation, how is that not drama? Like, did you expect me to do a factual live off of your misinformation? Did you expect no drama to be involved in it? It's not my fault that you went all over your public Facebook. It's not my fault that you made all these ridiculous posts with Summer Wells' name in it. It's not my fault that you're doing these things. And it's probably not even you. So we're going to leave that alone because the link's dropped. I wish a ninja would, right? So what am I talking about, y'all? Look, here's the deal, man. This guy, Jason Jensen, right, has gone on a freaking, just have a look-see. Have a look-see. Let me see how this is looking. You can't even see it, huh? Okay, I got to make that bigger. So this is coming from Jason Jensen's Facebook page. And many of you may remember who this guy is, or maybe you don't know. And I'll remind you, because I'm going to play Court TV. This guy's always on Court TV. If you're in this chat right now and you've ever watched like a Summer Wells recap on Court TV, Vinny always has certain people on the show. He has Chris McDonough, an obvious agenda, right? An obvious narrative, right? And then he has this guy. And I got to be fair, like this guy's like not too like, you got to be fair. Like he doesn't like attack the parents. He's kind of open-minded, right? But there's a whole thing and a whole story for me to tell you in regards to the drama that's been unfolding with this guy, right? So what does it say? It says, because of the sudden involvement in the Summer Wells case, I've decided to expedite my pursuit of a PI agency and PI license in Tennessee. A burglary turned abduction? Question mark. Okay. Yeah, I hear you. So then there's this. Now this is when it gets weird. Summer Wells, I know what you did. Turn your brother in, and they'll go easy on you. You can remain anonymous. Call me at 801-759-2248. Maybe I should call this dude. We'll go back to that. Maybe I should call him. I actually will call this dude during this live. That's what we're going to do. So we're actually going to call this guy. Now, who am I talking about? This will be Jason Jensen, and this is going to be his Facebook page. Wouldn't want to steer anybody the wrong way. Give me a second comments while I cook on this and get through this. Jason just received, can you guys see this? Okay, let's see. Yeah. Literally just received a tip from someone, an anonymous caller from Rogers. He didn't trust his information with anybody else. Thank you, sir, for that trust in me. And for the tip on Summer Wells. Stay tuned. Summer Wells. Interesting, right? So the person didn't call the TBI, but they called you. Interesting. Interesting. And hey, that happens to PIs, right? So So summer. So here's what's happening, people. This guy has claimed that, as you can see, an anonymous caller on his own Facebook, an anonymous caller called in and said, hey, what had happened is this, right? And apparently this man has had a reward fund for Summer Wells, right? So he's claiming an anonymous caller called in with tips in regards to Summer. Now, what are these tips? Well, the tips are this. The man claims that on the reward money that he set up, that somebody involved, there was a burglary that happened, and it was a burglary that went bad. A burglary turned abduction, right? And in this said abduction, whoever did this burglary, right, one of their family members, right, called in with tips for his reward money. Now, so this is all over Facebook, and I showed you this, right? Where is it at? So if you have a look at this screenshot real fast, the weird one, you'll see the first comment below. Find Summer Wells says, please do not play with our Summer. Send your information to the TBI if it's valid, which is so true. That's like that's Summer Wells group. You guys know who that is. I don't have to explain that to you. So I called Don about this entirety today. And interesting phone call. Where is it at? Shit. So I called Don, and Don told me that he did briefly speak with this guy. This guy did call him. However, Don told me that this man claimed some people in jail reached out to him, right? From a whole different state, this and that. There was nothing concrete, right? The guy was pretty much fishing for information. He was calling Don to tell Don that somebody reached out to him because of his reward money. And in this phone call, Don, he was trying to fish on information with Don, right? I don't know what I think about this. Here's what I think about this, right? Because I've wrapped my head around it, right? There's too many lies on the PI's end, for one, right? But what I do think though is somebody did call this guy's reward money. Okay, look, man, there's addicts out there that can sell you a dream if you don't know. They will talk you out of your shoes, right? They will sell someone who's drowning 6 liters of water, right? With massive reward money, people will do whatever, go to whatever extent. I do think that somebody called in, somebody said something, and whatever resonated with this phone call and this guy, something clicked. And then I think that's where things went left. Then I think the shenanigans started. This guy went on all these posts and all this weird stuff, and nothing's adding up. But what I want to kind of show you guys is, who is this guy? You guys know who this guy is. And let me show you. I'm going to play you this was 8 months ago on Court TV. So I spoke with Don about this, and he said when I spoke with him about this, he didn't know that this guy had anything to do with Court TV. And it's going to be an interesting situation if so we're talking about the man on the right. Okay, how's that look? Your browser lost connection, not a problem. So the guy on the right, you got Chris McDonough, that piece of shit on the left. You got Vinny with his narrative in the middle. And then we're talking about the man on the right here. That's who we're talking about. Ring a bell? Exactly, Choco. What happened? I didn't see it. So listen, man, you can just hit the link, dude. This is how this is going to work. Like we're just doing link drop. It's, you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing too much of this. Like, I could talk about you, right? I could say whatever I want to say about you right now, like anything that I want, right? Anything that I want. So you not hitting the link, like kind of like prevents me from doing that, right? That's just how I'm doing this, right? I'm tired of these, like, you know, these keyboard boards. Like, you have to hit the link. It's 2025. We're doing link drops. We're doing join panels, right? We're not doing this, like, you know, I'm not going to type to you. So if that's even who this is, yeah, I talk a lot. That's absolutely, I talk a lot. I'm going to be talking a lot about you. So, yep, 100%. So here's this goofball here. Let's rewind it a little bit. Now, so all this is happening on social media. Wifey reaches out to Candace. Candace said people have been blowing her up about this situation. Wifey's not in chat, so she probably went to the store. I got to call Wifey really fast. She's not in chat, right? Babe, are you here? What? You're here? Are you here? All right. Okay. All right. Are you going to the store yet? Are you going to the store? Yeah. All right. Okay. Let me know when you leave. All right. All right, my bad. So yeah, so let me show you guys this. I don't see her yet. She's out front. She's on the phone. She's handling something real quick. So okay, this guy. If you guys remember any of these Summer Wells videos that are on Court TV, any of them, right? Here's the thing. It's almost like disappointing, right? Like Chris McDonough is a scumbag, right? He's always got a narrative. He's always going to lie. He's always with the fuck shit, right? This dude, though, I don't know, man. I feel like he's been fair. But so all this is unfolding. I'm talking to Don. I realize that there's lies involved. So as I'm making a thumbnail, I go back to Court TV. I can't find him. On his Facebook page, he's like, hey, I'll be with Vinny in a couple hours, blah, 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 right? I can't, he posted the fucking website, not the YouTube thing. So I can't find him on panel with Vinny. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just do this. Court TV, Jason Jensen, or I'm sorry, Court TV, Summer Wells. That's exactly what I typed in. And this video came up. So I want to show you that exactly what happened here, right? I'm going to show you this video on the screen is 8 months ago. So as of recently, this man on those recent screenshots I show you, he's rushing to Tennessee. He has to expedite his private investigator license so he can be very good off in Tennessee because he's got this amazing tip, right? He's talked to Don. This is what was said. No, there's a little bit of a mix up there, a lot of a mix up there. And as I'm retracking back in time, oh, I found the narrative. What's that, white boy? Oh, I found the narrative. Because after everything I just showed you as up until now, I can show you his own Facebook posts. I can tell you that I talked to Don. I can do all that, right? And then we have to base like, okay, what's happening? We have to figure this out, right? But if I take you back in time, right? Somebody with an open mind, right, has to have just that, right? But like, let's use Chris McDonough, for example, right? You're never going to hear Chris McDonough being like, well, let me think of a different avenue. What if this happened, right? No, he's very firm on Don and Candace, guilty, guilty, guilty. Evidence, don't have it, but guilty, guilty, guilty. You can't convince that guy anything other, right? You probably can't convince that guy either that he's been sued by telling minors to confess to a murder that they didn't commit, a brother and a sister, if you will. But that's neither here nor there. Here goes Jason Jensen 8 months ago with his theory, right? With his theory. And his theory 8 months ago, well, before he had said tip, before he had the rush to Tennessee to become a private investigator there, your theory is the same. Let's have a listen. I think he's coming on right now. You didn't miss nothing. You didn't miss nothing yet. So good. Okay. I'm just trying to find the part where he comes on. So cool. No sound, no problem. Let's get it now. So this is here. So Chris McDonough was yapping for a few minutes, right? And now he's going to go to Jason Jensen, which is the guy I'm talking about.
Looks for a red Toyota pickup seen in an area where Summer disappeared. Could have seen or heard something.
Number one. June
26, 2021. Summer's brothers are removed from the home by the Department of Children's Services. October 31st, 2021, Don Wells, her father, is arrested for driving under the influence. February 4th, 2022, February 4th, 2023, TBI released the age progress photos that we're showing you. Then February 4th, 2024, Summer's 8th birthday. Then June 14th, 2024, TBI released a video update on the case. I want to take a look at that right now. Let's take a look.
What's next?
When I see the picture of Summer Wells, I see my daughter. And I can tell you that if my daughter was missing, I would sure hope that somebody was looking for her every day. My name is Josh Melton. I'm the Assistant Director of the Criminal Investigation Division for the Tennessee Bureau of Investigations. We don't have the evidence in this case to know for sure whether or not Summer was abducted or whether or not she walked away from her home and became lost. It's really important to us to not focus all of our efforts on just one of those two.
All right, Jason Jensen.
Right here, guys, right here.
You've investigated so many cases like this. Where are you starting? What strikes you about the attempt to get to the truth here and get to the answer of where she could be?
Okay, look.
Yeah, but the most important thing is to keep an open mind. Like the director just said, is they don't know which theory. There's really basically only three things that can happen in a disappearance involving a small child like that. Either a wander off or an abduction or a death and concealment. They've ruled out the death and concealment pretty much by doing the polygraphs with the parents, and they both passed. So we're really focusing on whether this child wandered off, got lost, and something happened to the child. That's why they did the mile radius search and they didn't find her. So, you know, there's a real possibility of the abduction, and you got to keep your mind open because we do know that this stuff this situation does occur, like I have a case, the 1982 case of Rachel Runyon. She was abducted 15 feet from behind her home. So it can happen.
Okay, look, man, I don't want to go too hard on this guy. And I told myself, I've been kind of like skull fucking myself for a couple hours of how to do this live. And here's why, man. This guy's been very fair to the Wells. And look, people are going to disagree with me. Here's the deal, man. Let me just get this fucking disclaimer out the way right now, right? I don't care what and who you think is responsible, or if you think there's foul play in the disappearance of Summer Wells. You can disagree with me if you want, right? Because you don't know me, and you should never trust somebody who you don't know, right? And maybe you have one of those gut feelings, right? And you should always trust your gut feeling, right? I don't know. If you ask the CIA, they say never do that because that's called an emotional way of thinking. But you do what you will, right? You make your best judgment, right? Here's what I could tell you, though. I know the parents, right? And when I say that, people will say, "Oh, white boy, they're manipulating you and they're lying to you." I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. The thing is, though, like you do know who you're talking to, right? So, like, if you don't know, like, I've been inside prison, right? I've had like roommates, right, who've killed people, right? I've had unfortunately, I've been forced to have conversation with killers and all types of people, right? All types of the greatest people of society, right? And they're all housed just in one location, right? It's like a city within a city. You pick up vibes, you pick up all types of stuff as you're talking to these people. There's some people in this place, you have a conversation with them, or even better yet, shit. I remember one time there was this dude, and I remember looking at this guy, and there's like something in his eyes. I don't know what it was, but like you told yourself, like, that dude belongs in here forever, right? I never wanted to know what that guy was in there for. I never had a conversation. I purposely would walk the other way, but I didn't want to get to know him. No small talk, no nosy shit. He was so, you just knew this dude should stay in here forever. And there's plenty of people like that inside the institution, right? My point is, like, it's comical sometimes where, like, you'll have the internet, right? Where on one end you have a whole squad of people, a whole group of people who are watching trashy pimp channels, who are listening to like conspiracies that aren't even legally possible that can happen, argue with you who actually have a relationship and know the parents, and on top of that have been incarcerated and forced to live with the type of people that they're accusing these people to be. And it's just out of this world to be in that situation, right? And argue with people, right? It actually is very tiring. It's all very silly to me, to be honest. But it's not about the parents. It's about Summer, right? And this dude has been very fair to the family in general, right? The problem is, I don't know what happened as of late, and I have to stick to my guns, and I kind of have to ride this guy, because, like, why now, right? Why all these stuff now? It's weird. Somebody hit the link and then drop down. You're free to do it again.
Let me ask you, Chris, the red Toyota pickup, what do we law enforcement talk about?
And the red was introduced by the father of the victim. It wasn't an independent witness or anything like
Tracy
that.
Ron Jensen.
The dad says, you know, there could have been a vehicle down at the end of the driveway, et cetera. And so we have to take into consideration, you know, what's the geographic region telling you as an investigator. And this particular, the victim was last seen in the basement of the house. So for abduction,
so you got this dude who's basically, they're kind of like not arguing, but Jason Jensen's like, there's an abduction. My point to showing you this is 8 months ago, he's talking about abduction, right? And he's always gone back and forth with Chris on these shows with Summer, right? McDonough is going to tell you that it's absolutely foul play, right? The guy who literally tried to convince a little boy who used technology. There's a movie on the case that Chris McDonough forced a boy to admit to a murder that he did not do, and all the shit that came behind it, right? There's a whole movie about that. McDonough will tell you that didn't happen, and absolutely he did not get sued. And yes, him and the police department got sued, but this is the guy we're supposed to believe there's foul play without foul play. Now, on the other end, you have Jensen here, who's always been pretty fair. But as of today, there's these weird shenanigans. Where's it coming from? Why? It's always
and
that
suspect had to know on that particular day at that moment that that child would be in that basement. The risk continues probability. And so you then go back to the situation where you go, okay, who was the last one there and what are the circumstances around that? And I think that's where the authorities have been focusing.
You know, Jason, when we cover stories like this that happen in populated areas, you know, whether it's a neighborhood like Sebastian Rogers in another part of Tennessee, or in a city like Nashville, or, you know, any other city across the country. This is a very rural area. You know, it's not, you're in a neighborhood, there's not a lot. Reminds me a little bit of the situation with Suzanne and Barry Morphew. Suzanne Morphew went missing from her home. They were kind of isolated as well. How important is that part of the investigation, the geography and the you know, where all this allegedly took place?
Well, yeah, terrain, especially in rural areas, is a major part. Like basically Chris was alluding to, if it's not a high active area, you know, high access, you're not really going to have a lot of access by strangers. So the problem that we have here is, how did she get away from the house without protection? Because in rural areas, everybody knows if there's a car nearby, you're driving down the street, you see a truck pulled over to the side, you're usually going to pull over in a system. So access to the home, access to the child is really going to play a big
myself all that fucking time. Did I just do dirt? All right, I have to say all that over. Holy shit! All right, I'm gonna say it all over. Here we go. My bad. Here we go. Let me find it. I can't believe I just did that. Let's do it all over again, Matt. So we're gonna start with him. Ernie PO officer, you need 1-800 find a joke. You need 1-800 find a joke. You're allowed to come in here and troll, but like that shit is just not going to cut it. Like that's cornball as it gets, and you got to step your game up. You're allowed to come in here with free speech and talk and say whatever you want, but this is like so weak and lame that not only will I not respond to your joke because you need 1-800 find a joke, it's so bad that I don't think I'm going to talk about it anymore as of right now. So back to what I was talking about. I don't know why this guy out of nowhere did this, Jason Jensen. People, here's the deal, man. As you can see, he's talking about 8 months ago there'd be an abduction, right? And again, he has been fair, okay? He's not like a McDonough, people. Let's keep it real. But this guy went on like a weird thing the last couple days, right? This is just my theory, y'all. I don't know, right? Here's let's do this first. Factually, what he's saying, posting about publicly, right? And what has happened are two different things, right? So we have to acknowledge that. We need truth in the situation. So now that we know that there's untruths being said, right? We have to figure out why are these lies being told, right? And this is all I can come up with. And this is merely speculation. This is merely just what I think, right? I do think the man got a tip in, right? 100%. I do think somebody blew his brain, the lid off his head off, right? With this tip, right? And I think he started like fishing for information, and I think he started smelling for things that weren't there, right? And I think that this tip that was called into him aligned, right, with his theory, right? And he just went all out. I mean, it's the only thing I could possibly understand. He thinks that there's an abduction, right? This guy is now claiming that this is a burglary gone bad. Okay, let's explore that, right? Why would you rob the Wells house? So a lot of you don't understand this. Shout out to my Tennessee people if you're in here, or if you watched the replay. And if you watched on the replay, please comment about this. Summer Wells grew up in a very beautiful part of the United States. Extremely beautiful. It's mountainous. She lives on a hill. It's friendly. It's peaceful. So this right here, I took, right, from the street in front of the Wells house. This blue thing right here, to the left of this blue thing would be the mailbox. Can any of you guys see a house? Nope. Right behind the blue thing is a driveway, though. So I never experienced this in my life. I couldn't do it. But Noel would go like fucking 50 miles an hour down the road and then hit a sharp right into their driveway and then smash the gas. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Right? Just to get up the damn driveway. That's how you got to drive out there in this place, man. You ain't getting up that driveway if you don't do exactly what Noel just did. I've never driven up a driveway 50 miles an hour before. But if you don't do that, you will roll backwards. It's weird. It's new to me, right? I've never seen mountains before personally until I went there, right? My point in me telling you this is you can't see a fuck thing from the street. So why would people rob? You can't case their house out. How are you going to case their house if you can't see it from the street? Okay, let's explore this theory this guy has. So, okay, Well, they live in between two streets on this mountain, right? There's a street in front of the house and a street in back of the house. So the street in back of the house you could see, but if you drove, you wouldn't want to like rob that house. It wouldn't stand out. Okay, now let's pretend that there's a lot of drugs in this house, right? The thing about this theory doesn't make any sense to me, never will, is Don Wells did not sell dope. Now, I know people on the internet will tell you that the man sold drugs. Here's what I can tell you in response to every moron who has said that, right? I don't know anybody who sells drugs that works a full-time job. Do people have people like sold stuff on the side or whatever, you know, for a hustle? Sure they have, right? That's different, like a one-time thing or whatever. But listen, there's not anybody in the world who's fully addicted to drugs, right? Who keeps the house full of the drugs, right? It doesn't work like that. That's not how this works. So if you're an addict and if you're fully addicted to these drugs, you're going to be scraping together, right? You're going to be robbing. You're going to be doing pawning stuff. You're going to be doing the lowest of the low to get the little tiny fix that whatever you robbed or whatever you pawned can get you, right? Because that's what real addiction looks like, right? But you're just not an addict and decide to stock up on the drugs you want to use. That doesn't make any sense. So then we're if we can logically scratch that one out, we're led to believe that Don is selling said drugs. Okay, I'm with you. Okay, I'm with you. Why is he working and hanging drywall? Do you know how painful hanging drywall is? If Don was selling the drugs, wouldn't he just stop hanging the drywall? No, white boy, that's the cover. Okay. So he's making all this money. He's selling all this drugs, right? And he keeps hanging the drywall. People, this is silly. But this is what this guy is trying to present and say, right? He's trying to say someone was in there trying to rob the house, and they took Summer because of what? I thought he sold drugs. Why wouldn't they just take the drugs? I mean, none of this makes any sense. It is absolutely amazing and beautiful. What's up, Jenkies? Have you seen or heard this, Jenks? I see a little doing behind the blue thing. A little what? Oh. You mean a mailbox? She did, Jenkies. Remember that? They may have come up to take his tools. So, oh, dog. Okay, Paula. Now I understand what you're saying. So his tools. Now that is more believable because I can go for that. I am just seeing this. I have been listening. So it's making its rounds, right? So let me show it again. I don't know how long you've been in here. So this guy, he's a PI. He's respectable. I just think he went on left field on this, man. Actually, let's look at his Facebook page too. So he says, because of the sudden involvement in the Summer Wells case, I've decided to expedite my pursuit of the PI agency and PI license in Tennessee. A burglary turned abduction. And then he says, this is the weird part. Summer Wells, I know what you did. Turn your brother in, and they will go easy on you. Okay, my bad. He's saying, Summer Wells, then I know what you did. Turn your brother in. They will go easy on you. You can remain anonymous. So apparently, the people who gave him this tip, right? He's claiming people. When I spoke with Don said that when he spoke briefly to this man, he said the man said people either people that were related to some people in jail or whatever, it had to do with people in jail, called this guy for his reward money. Okay. And they said that they knew there was people who went there to do a burglary. So somehow the people who called him with this tip are related to or involved in or know or who the fuck knows the people who did the burglary, right? There's a lot of loopholes in that. Maybe he owed a dealer. Well, so, okay. Okay, you're right. Here's the thing, man. We have to if we're still looking for answers on this, we have to so I hear what you're saying, right? So what you're saying is right. So I'll answer all questions at this point. I have a lot of people in the bushes. Please let them all go, right? So basically what you're saying is I have a house full of dope and said dope dealer fronted me all this dope, right? And I owe the dope dealer, right? Right. Here's my response to that, right? So I've been to prison for actually selling drugs, right? And every time I went to get said drugs, nobody gave them to me for free, or I would get shit fronted to me. Let's keep it real. But nobody would front me a whole house full of any drugs. And I had actually really good credit, way better credit than my credit report with these dope dudes, right? Let me tell you an honest thing, right, that goes on, because there's so much these conspiracies. Listen, you know what? One time I had a dude, he bought me a Cadillac, right? A used Cadillac DeVille. It was like a 94 back in 2000. That's all I could get out of this plug. That's it. They're not going to fill your house up. Why would they do that? You're not the only person they're sourcing the dope to. You're just one of many different people. So why give it to me on the float, right? With all things can go wrong at that point, right? Or do a hand-to-hand transaction for cash where nothing can go wrong and he's paid for his product. So these theories don't make any sense. I've been to Tennessee. Tennessee's not that far from Florida, but I know them that the dudes that are the plugs out there in Tennessee. I know they're not retarded. They don't just give their dope away. Take all this dope and pay me when you can. No, it doesn't work like that, because whoever they got the dope from, they had to pay for it themselves, right? So we have to think about the whole drug thing, right? Let's just logically think about it, right? And I know a lot of y'all have been through addiction. I've talked to a lot of y'all. Maybe a lot of y'all have not sold drugs, which I hope none of you have, but I have. So I have a little bit of skin in this game, if you will. Addicts don't want their own kids. I just came in. What's happening? Child abduction, burglary, what very different crimes. Yeah, I don't understand where he's going with that either. Maybe, okay, read that one. Plus, no drugs were found. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Okay, it was. I got what you're saying now. Yeah, that is true. So, so that is such a good comment, and probably better than the way that I explained it. If Don is the kingpin, where's all the drugs that he had, when the police were at? Here's why I honestly don't believe any of this. I'll dummy it down for everybody right now. So all of this is silly. The entire thing is very silly. Let me really dummy all this down. It's very simple. This entire thing is silly and stupid, fraudulent, and a desperate attempt at attention. Any tragedy pimp on YouTube who has said that Don is doing all these drug deals, this and that, it's the same thing. Fraudulent, a desperate attempt at attention. Am I here saying that Don and Candace never used illegal drugs in the past? I'm not saying that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is this. every ridiculous, stupid theory that you hear from people like Jason Jensen or any other tragedy pimp on YouTube is just and only that. And I could factually say that, and here's why. The highest form of police, there is not a form of police any higher than the ones that are in charge of this investigation, know exactly where Don and Candace were 6 months before Summer was gone. They know every text message that those people sent. So you would think that if they have the data to their phones, you would think that they called the drug dealer. Oh, white boy, they're using the burner phones. Oh, you've done one up on me, have you? So let's go down that one, right? So what you're saying is movie shit. The TBI has, they put it like this, people. The TBI knows every text, call, email, every app they installed, the amount of time they went on the app, the messages on Facebook, the messages on Twitter, the like button that they hit. They know everything. Here's a big one. The streets they drove down with their phone in their pocket because their location's on and they have Google Maps. You cannot beat data. Data is king, right? Data is king. So it's silly to me when you hear people dismiss that. Like, I hear all the conspiracy theories. I'm so with you, right? I want to explore each and every one, but you can't escape data. And the fact of the matter is, Don, Candace not only willingly passed lie detector tests, they gave all of their electronics to the highest form of policing in Tennessee. Not only did they give their electronics to the highest branch of policing in Tennessee, their electronics are still there. Not because it's evidence, because Don's like, yeah, I'll get there when I can. But he doesn't care about some of the stuff they got because he doesn't even really use it like that. If somebody's guilty, if the feds got this fucking phone right here, and I got some shit on here that I'm worried about, they got it, and they're like, hey, you can come get your phone. Okay. Did you find anything on it? Okay. I'm gonna get that thing ASAP before they find. So it's silly to me that people don't understand what data is, and that's exactly why all these theories are stupid. And this is exactly why this case has gone really nowhere, because people are so hyper focused on the parents. There's a reason why TBI has not arrested the parents. There's a reason why TBI has said publicly 4 times now, hey man, the trailer to this live, stop sending us fraudulent information. Please, only stuff factual, right? Now, I've been saying this for a long time for anybody who's been following this channel. This happened in Sebastian's case a little bit, to a sense, with the stepfather, Chris Proudfoot. There's the same situation with his device and his location on the days he left, and then Sebastian was reported missing. It's the same thing. People on YouTube just don't understand what data is, the importance of it, and how stupid it is to dismiss it. And that's why it's comical to a sense. It's very sickening and disturbing, don't get me wrong, but it's easy for me to sit up here and destroy these tragedy pimps because there's nothing they can come up with, right? There's not a thing a YouTuber can say, right? Come up with, think about, there's not a conspiracy. It's just not going to happen. If the police know everything that you did, they want the public to give tips about sightings or, anything other than, hey, I think it was Don and Candace, because they already have all the information about Don and Candace. It's just crazy to me. People still do it, right? People will believe these retarded theories that make no sense. I mean, maybe they sound good, but if you just take a step back and be like, wait a minute. So this theory that, Tragedy Pimp Bill over here told me, it sounds real good. If you just compare it and take a step back and understand that they have the data, you'll understand that whatever this theory that you were just told that sounds so good that your gut feelings telling you, I think something happened. No, it dismisses it. I can't explain that better without getting frustrated. And I don't understand how people don't take that information in and be like, now it makes sense. It's simple, really. No, they did. Yeah. Crimes, they did. But there's some crap that there is still in TBI. It's not held. Don, he said it on my panel. He's just like, there's some stuff still I haven't gotten. He's not worried about it. It's just crazy, man. People will, who in the hell is even directing this at? Hunter's sister or something? No. This is way off. No. I don't know. I don't know who the burglars are supposed to be. I have no idea. Yeah, hyper focus on the Wells is crazy. I think maybe Grandis thought she was. Oh, Grandis. Okay, now I think maybe Grandis thought she was with Candace. Candace thought she was in the boys. The boys thought she was with Candace. Something like that. Yeah. What is nuts is what is nuts is like, but I understand it to a point. People, again, I don't care what people think, man. You guys are free to think whatever you want, but if you take in the information, I guess maybe that's where I'm going wrong with this. Maybe I haven't expressed enough like conversations that I've had. Maybe I haven't done a good job on that. Maybe I haven't been as clear as to like why all these theories are stupid, but it's frustrating because like, this little girl's been missing for a long time, man. And I know her parents and I'm close with her parents. Right. And does that come with a bias? Yes, it comes, but that bias comes because of hours and hours and hours of conversation with them, right? I've asked them everything about Summer Wells, right? Everything, man. I've been in Summer Wells' bedroom, right? I've seen pictures that no one can see of Summer Wells. People think Candace is a bad mom. That's so untrue. Candace has binders and books and a big old stack of photo books of pictures of Summer. You guys have no idea how many pictures of Summer there is. She don't want the public having it. Not necessarily the public, but she won't give them to me to show you guys because of the assholes who are going to take it and put it in a thumbnail, right, about how Candace did this to her daughter. And I can't blame her for that, right? But it's silly to me. They have all their data, they have all their information. So these theories are crazy. And then all you have is like, okay, let's go back on the interviews. Let's listen to the body behavior. And I understand all that, and all that is important, right? But for Christ's sakes, I cannot tell you what I had for dinner 3 nights ago. I'll put somebody on blast right now. What'd you cook for dinner 3 nights ago? You have under 30 seconds to leave the comment. Crimes on 4/12, 2005, where were you at 3 o'clock? I want comments within 1 minute right now from you two ladies. You have less than 50 seconds to put on the screen. You're down to 40 seconds. We're getting close to 30. Ladies, we're coming in on 20 seconds. What'd you have for dinner 3 nights ago was crimes. 3 o'clock on 4/12, 2025. Where were you? Time is up. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. But people expect Don and Candace to remember everything they said in these interviews that were years ago, right? And God forbid they fuck up and say something a little different, which is very important. Don't get me wrong, but like petty things. You have these assholes. I told you they were lying. No, it was years ago, right? It was years ago, and it's just all silly to me, man. It's all silly to me. And on top of that, for Christ's sakes, they were drunk as fuck on panels a lot. You want to remember what they did when they were drunk? God damn. So it's all silly, man. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter about any of that. All that's just like stupid shit. The TBI has their data, which is key, And with that information, if you just know that, right? I've said this so many times, I don't want to sound like a broken record. That is so important. Your data is everything, man. It's everything, but the internet is weird. What does data mean? Your data is everything. That's every app you use. That is every email you are written, every email that's written into you, in your promo section, and your spam section, and your trash, and your drafts, and your sent, and your scheduled. That's every text message that you write, received, ignored. That's every phone call that you made, got, ignored. The ones that you did take and receive the exact second, minutes, hours to the second. The geolocation of the phone call, both parties. The geolocation of yourself that's linked to your apps, your Google Maps. When you're driving in the car, so I can pull my Google Maps up right now, and it will tell you everywhere that I went last week, right? I didn't do anything for that, right? It's always running, right? The TBI has that information. So when people say these theories, right, with these drug dealers, wouldn't there be a call? Wouldn't there be a few phone calls? Oh, he used a burner phone, Matt. I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Wouldn't there be him driving with his phone, right? It's ridiculous, right? And then people say, oh no, you're trusting them too much. They use the burner phone for all that. He left his phone at his house. Okay, well, what day was this? So when we match up your theory, which is what the actual information that we have, you're the one that looks crazy. So it's just a bit much, people. They could tell you're. So data is so important. It goes even further than that. Every transaction you've made, whether you used a Cash App card or your debit card, whether you paid PayPal, Bitcoin, every fucking thing. Police have it easy now. They have your data. And when you freely give a device to the TBI or the FBI, in hopes, data means they know every website that you visited, how long you visited the website, what you searched in the Google search bar. So wouldn't they find out like how to get rid of a body or whatever the conspiracy is, right? or are they such mastermind criminals that they not only were drunk and high on panels, never slipped up, they fooled the FBI with data. They actually were like so mastermind that come on, stop. It's a little bit silly at this point. It's a little bit silly at this point. You have Justice for Nobody saying, I took medication. Medication is my alters the lie to chest. I mean, it's just silly. It's all stupid. And this guy is just spreading misinformation, man. This guy got a fucking phone call from his tip line or whatever for his reward money. Somebody ran some game on him. He already thinks that there was an abduction from 8 months ago. And I do not know why he decided to come out and make these public posts. Here's what I'll tell you. It's misinformation. Next week, and next month, the month from then, we'll be right here still awaiting answers because this guy does not have them. You know, I'll look like a real asshole if I'm wrong on that, right? But he's got a tip and he's just fishing, man. What's up, Sayla? No way Donna Candace had a part. I catch myself getting frustrated explaining this because I've done it for years. And, you know, I try to dummy it down because I don't know who hasn't heard me talk about it yet. It doesn't matter what I say about data or the most simple aspects of this, right? And I try to, like, you know, say things that are like, you know, people can gravitate that's factually there, right? In a situation where we have lack of facts, but no matter how I do it, no matter what I say, no matter how I present it, there's going to be somebody who's going to leave a comment and it's just some dumb shit. And I instantly get mad because it's not that I'm mad about what they said. You're just like I don't, people are not going to like me. That's fine. I'm not for everybody. That I'm cool with that. Right. And people are going to think what they think with Don and Candace. I'm also cool with that. Right. But at some point, like anything like of a different argument to what I'm saying, what I'm laying down is cool as well. Just have something behind it. But when people say, like, you know, the dumbest shit, and it's going to be in my comments. When I end this live, it's going to be there. People will give you a bunch of just, it's like this. When you read it, you're like, there's nothing there. No substance, just hate, right? And like, what are you standing on? Like, if what I'm saying is not resonating with you, right? I get it. But like, what's the counter to it, right? What's the counter to it? You have nothing. But and that's the real poison, man, of this community, in my opinion. But there's me bitching about it ain't not gonna happen. It's always gonna be like that. So it is frustrating, right? You know, because I like this dude. I think he's treated the family good, so I'm not gonna go too hard on this guy. I just don't know where this comes from. But Don Candace told me about 2 years ago, you know, and I used to just go out the swing for the fences, man. When somebody is doing misinfo on this family, I used to really go for the feelings, right? I've settled down. I'm trying to tell the other side, come listen. And it's hard because I get frustrated. And you have to take in facts versus bullshit. You have to take in, like, you have to have a fair and honest I don't know, man. I don't, there's nothing I can say. Like, people are just have their preconceived notions. There's nothing I can say that's going to change people's mind, you know. But here's what I will say. If you're not agreeing what I'm saying about this man, that's cool. That's cool. But 1 week from here, you're going to look stupid, because this is all nothing more than a random seek of attention. 2 years ago, before I got flustered, 2 years ago, Don told me every time around Summer's birthday or around Summer's day, something happens. Some person from left fucking field we never heard of says they got a breaking clue. And I heard what he was saying. And it's not that I didn't believe him, but I hadn't lived through it. So I took what he was saying in, but now it's came to the point where I've lived it with him. And it's absolutely true. Every time, about every year, this time of year, you get some fucking loon ball that comes out of left field with the breaking news, comes out of left field with the fuck the data. This is what I know. And it stirs around YouTube, social media, and it's fucking crazy, man. I don't understand why people don't leave these people alone. There's no theory that you can come up with beyond data. You sound like a moron if you think that. Any theory that you have versus data, you cannot prove, right? This is all attention seeking. This is all stupid, and none of this makes any sense. We are beyond fucking 3 years, right? And people are so hyper focused. They think it's Don and Candace so much. That is the dumbest fucking thing to me in the world. Because for fucking 3 years, none of your theories, none of anything, all of you have combined, thought about. None of it has came to nothing. None of it. And if people just took half of that energy, if people took half of that time and looked elsewhere, right? Who knows what would happen? But that's what I've came to understand about this social media thing. That's never going to happen. And I have to just deal with it. So at some point, these videos are going to stop, because I get frustrated because people are so stupid. They believe this shit. And I'm going to look like a fucking crazy person, right? One day, if I've been up here for all this time, right? And I'm dead wrong, I would look like a moron, huh? Well, that ain't gonna happen. My Bengal cat just sniffed out stuff. I have really upset. Hopefully it does. Yeah, you're right. I'm just wondering why now. Damn. I didn't even realize that. It is 4 years. That's crazy. It is. It's crazy, man. Yeah, absolutely was. She's right though with the tower. Yeah, they don't even. You're right about that though. They don't even. That's actually a better way I should put it down. They don't even need your phone. Yep. I know it's just frustrating though. Look, do I get frustrated? Sure. Do I have all the answers? No. But what I will always do is debunk these crazy theories and these people who are It's opportunist, man. Look, man, this is easy, man. When you do YouTube, you have to be an opportunist a little bit, right? You want to be the person who puts it out first or something like that, right? I mean, you're a good YouTuber if you do that, right? So there's an opportunist in almost every YouTuber, right? People may not want to hear that, but this is the facts, right? This is the truth, right? People say, "Oh, I don't do it for clicks and views." Well, what the fuck are you doing it for? If you're on social media, you want clicks and views, but that doesn't mean you have to fucking sell your soul. That doesn't mean you have to be a shitty person, right? You can get clicks and views anyway. You can get clicks and views are going to come and go, right? It's just crazy, man. That what is crazy, and I guess why I'm frustrated is like as I'm trying to explain this stuff to people. What I'm frustrated for is not my supporters. So as I'm sitting up here trying to explain this stuff, I know the comments that are going to come in after this, and it's the people who have a massive like a hate towards Don and Candace, and I understand you, right? But like they don't ever come with any facts, and it's weird to me. Like how could you dismiss everything I just said? How could you I don't care what you're about to say. How could you dismiss everything with data? And if you can't understand that, maybe that's why they haven't been arrested, because there's nothing there. Yeah, it's sad. Jenks, you want to come up? I'm gonna drop it. I dropped it earlier in the chat. I don't know if it's still there. Here, I'm gonna drop it now. Or anybody, open panel, anybody come up. It's just sad because then people ain't even on social media. And look, man, Summer don't even get views. This video is not going to do that well. This live's not going to do that well. It's crazy because Summer Wells is like I've lived through it. I'm always going to debunk people who do this shit, right? So I have no problem doing this, but we see like it's recently happened with Sebastian Rogers' case. You see like the prominence of it, right, start to drop, and that's happened because of several different reasons or whatever. But sometimes you hate to see these things happen because you're invested in the case. People go on to other things. It happens. You have to. It's just what happens with social media. And we just kind of are witnessing it with Sebastian Rogers' case right now. But with Summer's case, I just don't understand how people still do this stupid shit. I never will get it. I just don't understand it. I never will. It's weird. It's weirdo people, but it is what it is, man. It's what people do, man. I dropped it. I can't believe it's been 4 years. It's very cruel. It is. And they're not on social media like that, man. The people, I got a lot of OGs in the sub right now. Shout out to all you guys in the chat right now. You guys remember back maybe 2 years ago, I would have Don either in the chat, on panel, or I would call him, right, during all these debunk lives, right? So he was present for a lot of the stuff, right? Sometimes I would have him talk shit, depending who it was, right? But there came to a point where he was just listen, it came to a point where I'm going to keep it real with you guys. There came a point where he gave up on this shit. And, I'd call him and shit because that's my dude. But he's trying to stay away from everybody. social media in general. And I don't know, I wasn't paying the phone up and stuff. And I finally found out like what he was doing, and I'm like, what are you doing, bro? Like if you don't want to go on social media, that's cool. He like didn't want to talk to anybody involved in social media. You know, he didn't want to talk to anybody. It's just something that he was doing for a while. And I felt some type of way about that. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, man, what the hell, dude? I like felt some way with that. And he come back around, and so I gave him a space and shit. And he was like, listen, man, that shit is all poison. That shit is all the devil, and I don't want nothing to do with it. And I'm like, but dude, like, why you put me in that? He's like, he's like, I'm not putting you in it. He's like, I'm just trying to stay away from it. So of course, like, I have to respect that's the way the man feels. I'm not gonna like tell him to come on here and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? There's been a couple of times where there's been a claim so dumb and so debunkable, right, that I have asked them, right? It had to be like a crazy one, right? But I don't even do it anymore, right? But you guys remember them lives? I always have them on, and then he stopped coming on. Then you might see him here and there. He has said this has failed Summer Wells. He doesn't believe that none of this is going to help Summer Wells, right? My advice to him with this guy was this. I said, Don, record that dude. If he calls you back, record him. And I hope Don does record him, because this guy is always on court TV. This dude is always on with Vinny, right? So I told Don, start recording these motherfuckers, right? He's like, yeah, but I'm like, no, listen, record them, right? And then you go on court TV. And then tell Vinny, like, why would you have this asshole on here saying this, and that? And then when the guy's like, I don't know what you mean, play your recordings live. Fuck that whole show up, right? That's what you got to do, man. But you know what? That'd be a good plan. But for what? For what? That's me thinking about how to whoop another YouTuber. That's me thinking about how to play, that's me thinking how to win over here, right? But that's not the type of shit he's on, right? He's not trying to be involved in none of it, right? So he don't care about even go, none of it, right? He doesn't. He didn't even know this guy was on court TV. After all this happened today, after all this shit. Come here. Come here. Wow. Come here. Wow. Okay. Huh? After all this shit, he was saying that he ain't fucking with this dude no more. Hot like butt, yeah. Smash that button. My pit bull's growling. I don't like what she growls. I would have to been hanging out with my kid tonight, and I have been mad at me if he knew I'm on YouTube. Okay, that's cool. I have a theory. I will message Noel later about it. I have nothing better to do. I think I'm gonna jump off. Listen, Sayla, you here? Take us out, Sayla. Grab that link. Speaking about OGs, speaking about old subs, speaking about old lives that I used to run, debunking idiots, you know, attacking Don and Candace. Speaking about all that, you want to take us out? Hell yeah. All right, cool. Take that link. So Sayla used to come up and take us out a lot. You know, she's pretty friendly with the Wells family, but, you know, also me, she's also a friend of me and the Well. But she used to just jump up here and take us out sometimes in prayer. And I don't know, man. I think I started this live out to once again debunk some misinfo on this family. But I think into doing this thing, I got a little frustrated. And that's okay. I'm not going to delete this live or nothing like that. Because I think for what it's worth, man, people should see raw, organic. People should see whatever. I don't know what I look like when I'm live. I mean, I guess I could look at watch the video, but even my haters know I'm not no liar. Even my haters know I'm not no scammer. When people watch this channel, you could watch me and you know you're getting the raw deal. You know you're getting the raw, real deal. And if I could just reach, and this is going to sound cliche, this is going to sound corny, but if I could just reach one person, right, to stop fucking with them. If I go reach one person, right, to stop with the stupid conspiracies. If I could just reach one person that is like, fuck, what he's saying does make sense. Like, if they have the data, then how the shit that I'm believing and I'm like harassing these people behind, that's all it is, you know? So getting frustrated is not a bad thing. But that's where the frustration comes from, you know? And at some point, man, I'm just going to say, not even do these no more, because I'm kind of getting tired of saying data and all this stuff. I've been doing this for years. I've been helping this family for years. I will always help them, always be a friend of them, offline, online. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, you know, there's never been anybody with any concrete evidence, right? It's just silly. What it is, man, is judgmental people who are not used to living, for people living a certain life, right? When you read a bunch of asshole comments with the Wells family, it's a bunch of judgmental people who think that they don't know that type of life in the mountain, right? And you really have to experience it. I can't even describe it. I can put a few photos up. I can't describe what a holler is. I can't describe the mountains in East Tennessee and the privacy. And it's a weird story. It's a sad story. There's no justice. There's no information. In a sense, I want to tell people that little girl was like as safe as possible. When you go into East Tennessee and you go into this part of town, this little girl lived on top of a mountain. I mean, it's all a crazy mystery. It comes off strange. It comes off weird. There's no answers. I understand it. On top of that, there's another person attached to the family who is missing. There's that double aspect of mystery. I get it. I get all that. But when we look at facts or even theories, if we can't push any of them through, then what we have. What up, Sayla?
Hey.
What's up, Mama? How you are? You all right? You hear me? Can you hear me? I'm gonna chill until you get your audio right. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna do this for you. Hold on. So try this, Sayla. Hold on. I'm gonna boot you. So let me do this, right? Add to stage. No, I'm gonna actually kick from studio. Okay, look. So I booted you, right? Do this. Shit. So if I'm on my phone and I take somebody's link, what you got to do is like, you got to pause your YouTube and then take the link. Or what I do is I take the link and then it opens up in Chrome, right? I hit that little square on the top right that shows you how many windows you have open. What I do is I take the link, I hit the little square, and I X out YouTube, and then I go back to StreamYards. I don't know if you get that. You probably do, but pause it. Damn, we're doing good, Choco. We're doing good. I'm trying on my phone. Give me a second. No, you're cool. You're cool. Take your time. Relax. Bye. You are beautiful people. Appreciate that. Take your time. We're cool. I've been hanging out with my mom. Probably not, Angela. Probably not. That's why I dropped the link. And look, listen, I like Jason Jensen. I don't know. Listen, I just think he went on left field on this. I just think he went on left field. He has been pretty down the middle. But shenanigans, people, shenanigans. What he's posting on Facebook and what initially is what was said is two different things. I think Jason Jensen, guy from Court TV, somebody called him, somebody gave him a tip. Tell him what somebody told that man. And I think that man took that tip, and I think that tip resonated directly with a theory that he already had, which we watched, and it was an abduction. But here's the thing. We're going 4 years into this case, and you've been on Court TV many times talking about this thing publicly. Like, dude, you wouldn't go to the law enforcement with it. You're going to make a post and say you have to rush to be a PI so you could investigate? No, bro. No, fuck your PI license in Tennessee. Give that shit to law enforcement, man. If you have any tip, don't give it to one of these people on social media. Man, give that shit to the police, man. Let them figure it out. They got ultimate resources. They know what's going on. They got a record. Man, stop that shit, man. That's crazy. That's attention seeking. That's clout chasing. That is, hey, look at me over here. Look what I have. Look what I did. Look what I found. Nah, bro. You lost me right there, bro. You lost me right there, bro. With a missing kid? Come on, dude. That's not cool. You should have told the police. You should have told the police, and then you should have been like, this is what I told the police. Look at me over here. This is what I did. Not all this. I want to be expedite. Man, stop, dude. I have more respect for you calling the police, give them something credible on this case, because there is nothing, than you trying to do all this extra shit. Like it's crazy, man. My internet is pouchy. We just reset it. I don't know how to come up on my phone. So put it on mobile hotspot. What up?
Is that it?
You're good.
Okay, now I'm up. Okay, go ahead.
What's happening with it?
Doing all right tonight. How about you?
All right. Do you remember this guy?
Which guy?
Jason Jensen. Do you know who it is? You remember the guy, the PI, the court DVD?
I asked Noel if he was in with that Chris McDonough guy, because it seems like those names kind of go together to me in my head. I don't know a lot about him. I don't. But I do know that Chris McDonough guy. Not fond of him.
I think they're separate though. Like Jason Jensen is a he is a PI in a different state, and Chris McDonough, like they're separate, but they do go on Court TV a lot. Don does not support Court TV. He was telling me today. He doesn't. He said he wants nothing to do with nobody going on Court TV or News Nation. I don't know what News Nation specifically did to them. I don't know, but he's just not with it. But anyway, it's nothing's gonna come of this. It's all a bunch of look at me over here, look what I found, give me some attention, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing that we haven't seen in the past. it's just crazy, man, that these people continue to do this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It's nothing but rumors and a bunch of gossip and no facts to back up anything. And there are people out there that have actually, for 4 years, built a channel off of this child's name and defaming her parents. And I'm just going to say, y'all, if you've never lost a child or had anything happen, like not anybody in here necessarily, but just out there, period, you know, that are bashing these parents, you really need to take a step back and reevaluate, because, you know, in the blink of an eye, your child can be gone out of the yard and you don't know where they are. Imagine not knowing where your child is. That is the only thing I can think that is worse than the death of a child, is not knowing where they are.
Absolutely.
That would drive me crazy. It would drive me up the wall.
Absolutely. It's sad. It's just, it's messed up that they still got to go through this shit. I don't understand it.
It's not fair. It's wrong. I mean, it really is wrong.
All right. What's going on with you? It's been a long time since I checked up on you. Everything good?
Yep. Doing pretty good. Doing okay. Just getting by. How about y'all?
We doing all right. How's the family life and everything go? How's everything really going on? Let me ask you like that. How's everything really going on with you?
Well, you know, I'm still going through some grief, of course, and my son's birthday's coming up June 15th. The same day Summer went missing is my son that passed away's birthday.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
Damn. I never knew that till now. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
That's probably why. Is that what got you looking at this case so heavy in the beginning?
Yeah, it is, because I was sitting on my porch, on my sun porch, and waiting for him to come over because we were going to go to lunch. And after he got off work, and I heard it come up that there was a little girl missing, you know, out of East Tennessee. And so I started listening to it, and I actually kind of like closed my eyes, and I saw this little girl with blonde hair, just kind of asleep looking, you know. And it was weird because when I found out how old she was and she had blonde hair, it was really strange.
Yeah. It's a strange case. And I do understand why people have conspiracies and stuff, man. I do understand why people think certain things, and I don't think it's wrong for anybody to do that, especially, you know, it's just, you know, it's just a bit much after so many years, after so many things have been debunked. There's so many factual information. There's information out. I don't understand how people can dismiss, you know, certain aspects. Lie detectors passed, law enforcement, you know, but there's so many things that happen in this case. There's people out there to this day that still will write comments like they're not working with law enforcement, and they're referring to when what's his face, the bald-headed bastard, what's his face, the sheriff out there, Lawson.
Lawson.
They're referring to when Lawson accidentally or purposely, whatever he did, said that and he confused. They got a lawyer for CPS versus Summer's disappearance. He never cleared that up, and people took that and ran with it. People took everything Chris McDonough did and ran with it. So there's been like certain aspects of events in the case that people have drilled and created conspiracies behind, and these certain things have been debunked a million times over in the years, but there's still people that don't understand these simple and very obvious things, and it's completely frustrating. Like, you know, trying to explain that in the comment when someone's 3 years a little bit too late or something like that. But I don't know, man. It's getting hard for me to even like get up here and just sound like a broken record anymore. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep doing this, to be honest. Like, there's so much more stuff I could talk about, but I got a special place in my heart for little Summer. She's a cute little girl, And I hate that there's no answers for her. And it's sad, really, man. Like, you know, there's just nothing. There's nothing to go on, man. But at the same token, like, people can't decide to take that situation and solely throw blame at her parents, who have not, you know, showed any form of foul play. And it's just sad and disturbing, man, to still be up here years later saying some of the same things.
Yeah, people make these narratives and they run with them, and then the parents get another wave of attacks. It's just like, you know, they come in waves, really. And it's like this time of the year, or whenever, you know, this comes around, it's like a whole new surge of people come back up again and start attacking and just lying on them and just saying whatever they want to, not even thinking that these are parents of a little girl that went missing. And if you don't know, just give them grace, you know, give them grace, because anybody can find themselves in that situation. You know, you just never know.
So true. So true. What's up, Ellen? All right. Thela, in old school ways, you want to take us out? I mean, do this. You can do this however you want to do it.
I'm just going to basically pray, honestly, for answers for this case, and also for protection over the children and over Candace and Dawn from all this, you know, attack that they get around this time of the year.
I guess. Okay. Hold that thought, though. I do want to tell the chat. So this OG self of mine, she's been up here. She always used to take us out in prayer. But let me tell y'all something, man. This person, when I was in jail, man, should I tell a story?
Sure.
When I was in jail, right? This goes to anybody watching this, man. When I was in jail, there was this dude, and he was making these. He was what was he again? I told you he was
he was like a shaman or witch doctor or something, wasn't he?
Voodoo. He was making voodoo dolls.
Yes.
He was making voodoo dolls, right? And what he was doing is whatever thing that is, whoever makes voodoo dolls, whatever, you know, religion or whatever. But this guy would make also like necklaces, like cross necklaces, right? That he would make for like soups and shit, right? Now, I didn't think nothing of it. It's a hustle in jail, and people do this type of stuff, right? But like, what here's what's weird, and Selah and my wife figured this out, right? Between them two, when I'm in jail, off of so just listen to this. This shit gets crazy, y'all. So I'm in jail, right? And I'm having like the weirdest dreams of my life. Like I'm talking about like the craziest dreams I've ever had in my life. This ain't my first time in jail either. And I was in there for like driving on suspended license, like nothing. But this dreams I'm having is crazy. Like I'm like, what the fuck? I ain't doing no drugs. Like there. This is all like people. These dreams were crazy. So I'm calling Noelle, and I'm like, man, this shit's crazy. So Noelle's like,
I started asking you all kinds of
So
questions
Noelle,
about it because I know exactly what's going on, and you're confirming everything as I'm asking you, colors, everything. And when I hung up the phone with you, I texted Selah. I was like, I need a favor. Call me. And the phone rang like 2 seconds later. I told her what was going on, and I said that there's some voodoo, there's some witchcraft, going on, and this is what's going on, and we need to pray.
So
we did.
Noelle asked me, like, is there anything like of weird colors in your cell and shit?
And I told you the colors, and you're like, yeah.
So I'm like, yeah. So she tells me like certain colors to look for, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like this. So my roommate had bought one of them things that dude bought, right? That necklace thing, right? Now, just so y'all understand, I almost beat this dude up. So let me tell you a story on top of a story real fast. Not to get off point, but to emphasize this guy I'm talking about. So there's kiosks in the jail. You can make an email on, or you can order food on. and there's the phones over there. This guy one morning, I swear to God, on my life, this guy walks over to the kiosk, whips his cock out, and pisses on it, right? So I'm like half asleep. I hear like that noise in jail where shit's going down, and people were like on his ass. They had drug him into the cell and start beating the shit out of him, because that's like a big no-no. We like email our families on that and order food in here. And here you are pissing on it when you can just go in the fucking cell that you live in, right? So they beat the shit out of him. I like wake up. I'm like, what's happening, right? So the dude's getting whooped on so bad that he runs up out of his cell, right? And I have not a clue in this dude's mind why he thought it'd be a good idea to come to the white boy cell. So they drag him in the cell down there and start stomping him out, right? He runs up out the cell. Now I'm like, wake up. It's probably like 10:20 a.m. I like wake up. I like figure it all out, right? You got to be super nosy in jail. I'm like, what's happening? And my homeboy said, oh shit. All right, bam. He's pissing on shit. Bam. So he comes down to my shit, right? You got a squad of dudes that are stomping you out. I'm not fixing to let you in my cell. Man, hell no. Because then I got that pressure. So he's like, comes to my cell. He's like running towards me and tries to like squint by me into the cell. So I like block him off. I'm like, nah, bro, you ain't coming in. And he tries to come in again. I'm like, bro, now he's starting to like scare me a little bit. I'm going to tee off on this dude because, bro, why are you're steady trying to get in my cell? I just like did a football move for you not to come in. And then you try to like divert that and still. I'm like, bro, if you don't get the fuck back right now, bro, I'm gonna fuck you up. And dude like took a step back, and then there was that weird like moment where like I'm like, oh, this dude's coming back at the he's gonna try to get in here. So I'm like, man, I'm gonna knock this dude out. So as I'm telling myself this in my head, the dudes that were chasing him grab him, bring him back to the cell, beat him up, take the mop bucket, force him to clean the urine. This was all crazy. Anyway, this dude was the dude who made the shit, and he was a dude doing the voodoo, right? So I have these weird dreams, and Noelle's like, it's colors. So I call. She's telling me like, well,
I sent you a long email.
Yeah.
You had to go asking everything, explaining, and you're like, holy shit, you read it.
Yeah.
And you were by the water, and that gives it more power. It was witchcraft.
So she emails me like some shit off. I don't know if it was Google or whatever about these colors, this and that. So I'm writing the email, and then I got these. Then they have tablets in the jail too. So I'm in my cell now, and my buddy. Matter of fact, he just got out and hit me up. My roommate, he hits me up, and my bad. I'm in there, and I'm on the tablet, and I'm like, bro, you gotta get rid of that fucking necklace. And he's like, what? I'm like, bro, that necklace is. Because I'm having these weird ass dreams. Mm-hmm. And when I said that to him, he's like, you got weird dreams too? And I'm like, yeah, really weird dreams, bro. Really weird dreams. And I wake up, my pants ain't even wet. He's like, no, bro. He's like, I'm having weird dreams too. I'm like, what do you mean? So he's telling me he's having all these weird ass dreams too. I'm like, bro, get that fucking necklace out the cell right now, bro. He's like, what? He's a burnout, right? So I give him the tablet. I'm like, look, man, I've been telling my old lady about this shit. So I give him the fucking tablet, and he's reading about it. He's like, oh, hell no. So he gets rid of the necklace. He's like, what do I do with it? I'm like, I don't know. Throw it in the garbage. I'm like, listen, go back there and throw it in that dude's room. So he leaves the cell. He walks back down there. He don't say nothing to the dude. He's like, this up comes back. I'm like, good. No, it was gone, man. I was having some crazy.
We had to be on that phone for probably 5 hours.
I forgot tell them what one of the dreams I was telling you about. I forgot.
I remember that dream. You told me.
Yeah.
Like you were astro projecting, and like I was like, something's trying to take your soul out of your body. That's trying to.
There's like some crazy, like monsters and fucking like
that witch. Remember the woman, the witch in the casket?
Oh yeah, now I do remember. Yeah.
And it was trying to get someone with your astral projection.
In the blood, yeah.
Oh, the blood.
Yeah.
Then I woke up, I was dreaming, and then there was blood that come out, and the whole room filled with blood. And then I woke up when the blood was at the top. It was crazy. I never had these dreams in my life. These dreams were happening, and they stopped.
They stopped after Sayla and I spent hours on.
So yeah, man.
We never did go live and talk about that. Sayla.
I told you guys to go.
We were gonna do it, and then all that happened.
Yeah, I should really go because I'm free. I'm leaving a lot about this. Anyway, so Sayla is gonna take us out in prayer because I don't know what she knows, but it's something good.
Well, Noelle actually called me, and the weirdest thing is, like, the Holy Spirit had already told me ahead of time, and when she started telling me about it, I started asking about the colors: the green, the red, the white, the yellow. Yeah. Remember that, Noelle? And we just started.
I started to explain it to you, and I didn't get to the colors yet. When I started telling you what was happening, you were like, "What were the colors?" I'm like, "Yep, all that." I already asked Matt. I was like, I knew everything that it was as you did. You're saying shit as I'm getting ready to.
Right. So the Lord had already told me ahead of time, and so she and I started talking, and man, we just went to war in the spirit. We started rebuking witchcraft curses, all kind of stuff, all night long. Me and her were praying for hours. Were we not, Noelle? We really were. And we went to war.
It was very strong.
I promise you guys, listen, if you're watching this, I swear to God, and that sounds crazy, but I was having it wasn't like one bad dream. Like I was in, and it so in jail, you have to worry about a lot of stuff, or maybe you're worried about your court date, how much time you're gonna get, if you got some pressure in there, all types of stuff you got to worry about. I had the eased jail mind. I had already been sentenced. I know when I'm going home, a couple days in there. I had no pressure in there. Like none of that stuff was affecting my mental state, right? All that's good. But I'm having these weird ass, I like shit that I never had in my whole life. And it wasn't one, it wasn't two. And here's the thing, man. It was throughout the jail. I was over here. It was all crazy, man. But then I told my roommate, and then he confirmed it. I should get this dude on. He's out now. So if y'all do a panel, he'll remember all this too. You know what I mean?
Whenever she wants to. I'm still waiting.
Anyway. It's crazy, but I don't know that shit was nuts. All right, anyway, take us out, man. This is for the Wells and these idiots, man, and anybody do your thing.
Father God, we just come to you tonight, and we just thank you for Matt and Noelle and giving them a platform that they're able to take up and stick up for people, who are being kicked when they're down. Lord God, I ask you to bless their family first of all. And Lord, I just also ask you to help them with the situations they've got going on right now, and that you would be their provider. Father, that's who you are. So I would just like to say that, Lord. And also I would just ask you to please bring some new news to Summer's case, Lord. We would love to know, that she is healthy and happy, Lord. But whatever the situation is, Lord, that you would just bring the truth out and expose the lies and the liars and the darkness. And Father, we just thank you for that. And I ask you to cover Summer's mom, Dawn, and her dad, her mom, Candace, and her dad, Don, and her siblings, Lord, and Summer herself. Lord, I ask you to please put angels of protection around them, a hedge of protection around them that the enemy could not cross, Lord, and that the people that want to come after them, that you would give them a chance to have a second pause and take a chance to think, what if this was me, and how would I want to be treated, and that they would give grace and mercy instead of pointing the finger. And Lord, I would also ask you, just please give them peace, Lord, through all of this, peace that passes all understanding. I know that the Wells believe in you. They are good Christian people. They love you, Lord. And they had their children in church. And then some, wicked person came up on that property or around that property. And in my opinion, stole that little girl away. And Lord, you know where she is. And I just ask you to bring her home. Lord, we ask you to bring her home. It's been 4 years now, almost. And they've been through hell, and it is enough. And I just ask you to plead the blood of Jesus over their whole family and just protect them, especially through this month and beyond. But right now is when they really get attacked. And Lord, I just ask you to just guard them and cover them, keep them in your hand, that nothing could pluck them away from you, that they would never lose their faith no matter what they're facing. Lord, and I just thank you for this, for what you've already done, what you're doing now, and what you're going to do. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Appreciate you, Mama. Thank you.
Absolutely. Love you guys. I'm going to drop down. Love you,
All
Noel.
You.
Bye, Matt.
Take it easy. Be easy. She had a lot going on in her life. She's been subscribed a long time to the channel. She's good people. Good people, man. A lot of y'all are good people. A lot of y'all names in here I know follow this case. A lot of y'all in the chat follow this case. A lot of y'all. I put a lot of you guys on the screen tonight. There's just nothing new, man. And when it comes to debunking the assholes around it, it's getting frustrating. Like, you'd think I'd be getting better at this or used to this or immune to this, but the fact of the matter is I'm getting frustrated because, like, although a lot of people have like opened their eyes and stop attacking these people, so many haven't, and I still get the stupid comments, and it gets to be depressing. It gets to be like, what am I doing? So maybe, man, I take the Don's route. Maybe I don't know what the right answer is, because me doing this live, just debunking somebody who got a little bit ahead of themselves, but they're doing weird posts. Obviously, I'm not going to sit and trash this guy. And this guy, Jason Jensen, you can come on the show if he feels different. He won't. Nobody ever does. But it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. But at the same time, at least like it semi has her name in the algorithm. It semi she's talked about. But a long time ago, I thought about I don't know. I'm just getting discouraged because this shit's so old. This has been years, y'all. Like, I can't be doing this for like another 4 years. I can't do this another year. People got to start like using common sense. People got to start being adulting. People got to start like the lack of common sense is scary. Like, people send me shit all the time when it pertains to Summer Wells, right? And I appreciate that, man. Appreciate when you see something on the internet and you think it doesn't look right, that I am who you think of, right? Or my wife or whatever. I really appreciate that, right? That means a lot, right? But, some of the shit, man, when people send me like the shit, it doesn't legally make any sense. Like, and why entertain it? Why give it a view? Why? I get people are attracted and want to learn, and maybe it's something new, and maybe there's information. I get that, and for that you're okay in my book, right? But if it's 4 years now, if it ain't coming from the law, if it ain't coming from police, if it ain't coming from big branch of, if it ain't coming from the TBI above, Hawkins County. If it didn't come from police handling the case, then you're not gonna learn nothing new. I mean, I'm just saying, man. That's just what it is, and you could probably take that to the bank with every case. Just saying. But I don't know. Yeah, we appreciate the Sailor. I don't want to get too down, but it does get discouraging, you know. I'll figure it out. Maybe I got to switch it up. But all right, it's Sunday night. I got to watch a movie with Noelle still. What time we got? I got work tomorrow.
It's after lunch.
Holy shit. This time machine in this motherfucker.
1 hour live never happened.
2 hours. And yeah, I'm going to jump off, man. I realize, you know, this is just bullshit, y'all. That's all it is. But we had a conversation about it, and people can determine what they want. I ain't going to delete it. It's going to stay up. And do your part and leave comments, y'all. I'm jumping off. Y'all be easy. Thank you, Sayla. Thank you, everybody who's joined the chat. Please hit the like. What's up, guys? Hope you enjoyed the video. Do me a favor, hit that like. Subscribe to my clip channel at White Boy Radio Clips. And in the description box is the link to be a member. Become a member if you can. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Stay safe. Stay smart. Peace.